Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I am an animator. That's probably obvious from my channel, but I am an animator. I graduated in June of 2022, and recently I have been posting consistently on my YouTube channel different animations, different live streams, and videos, trying to make my big break in the animation industry. And for the past year now, I have been failing. And it was only recently when I had learned, first from Clownfish TV and then watching other YouTubers and looking online further, that there have been a mass of animator layoffs. And things are starting to make sense, specifically for me, personally for me, when I was applying to job after job from different sites, LinkedIn, Indeed, ArtStation, Fortune Connections. I just wasn't finding any work. I was continuing to grow, continuing to hone my craft, getting better at what I was doing. And while no, I'm not a master in any regards, it was still surprising to me that I wasn't finding any kind of work or any kind of interview session. And there has been a shift to more safe and more reserved forms of storytelling. Many animators have been let go because a lot of the shows that were greenlit are being canceled or being pulled. And there's not much of a need for that many animators, especially with the actor and writer strike that is going on right now in Hollywood. And so I believe that the writing was kind of on the wall. I'm a religious man, I'm a man of faith, born and raised Southern Baptist Christian. And so many things in my life I have taken as certain signs or certain impressions. I won't go in depth with that too much in this video, but I essentially say that to say that the writing was on the wall for California, for Los Angeles, and for that media and entertainment bubble. There have been several fires in California. There is a homelessness crisis. There's a homelessness crisis around the world, but it's definitely severe in California. There is a housing issue where housing is so expensive down there because of the economy and because of the style of living. There are many different things going on in Los Angeles, the crime, homelessness, housing, and even now with the recent writer and actor strike, where in hindsight, media and entertainment should never have been centralized in Los Angeles. And people saying to move to Los Angeles should not have done that in the long term. It has allowed for a centralization of power and gatekeeping that has allowed for such a rough landscape in which the market is very competitive, in which employment is very competitive, and there is more gig work in Los Angeles and unstable forms of financing and getting paid for your work. So now we have this severe crisis where hundreds of thousands of people can't find jobs even through their network, and people who are just trying to break into the scene and get their first job aren't getting hired. And so I believe that as animators, as artists, as filmmakers, as actors, voice actors, what have you, What we need to do is just decentralize from that Los Angeles and Hollywood bubble. We need to expand. Go back east. If you're not a California native, definitely go back home, live with family, or at least live in proximity to family. A lot of cities pay, would just love to have a fraction of the pull, social and economic, that Los Angeles had or still has. There are many different government entities and bureaus and programs for low interest loans and for grants. They provide retail space and office space. There is definitely a platform and there is definitely an avenue for people to create their own jobs, to create their own works. There's definitely a precedent for people who are in the industry, who have been in the industry for a long time, to also set up their own studios abroad in wider America. And it will be far more cheap for them to do that than to stay where they have been. It will be a lot more effective for them to go independent than to stay hunkered down where they are and hope and pray and beg for the best. At this point, as artists, as entertainers, as people in media, we need to do what is best for the industry long term. That is definitely something I plan on doing. And I do personally feel as though a lot of the things that have happened in my life was gearing me towards and preparing me towards not moving to LA, but to rather stay hunkered down where I am and potentially establish my own studio. My failures, things not going through how I've liked or how I've wanted, I definitely now feel as though I should be independent. And I want to help other people be more independent through the creation of this video. Different loans, different grants. You guys have networks. Those of you who are likely senior members or who have been in the industry for a longer time, who just happen across this video, you guys have years, maybe even decades worth of connections and different people you know. You may be an animator or an in-betweener, but you also know filmmakers, you also know editors, you know developers and playwrights and other writers. You guys can get together, go back to one of your hometowns, get in contact with your local bureau or your local government, and then get a grant to start your own studio. Submit a proposal, submit a letter, and say, hey, I have this idea for a service for a studio. Can you guys hook us up with a good location? That is definitely an option. That is definitely something that can be done. And it would be very much welcomed. And once people start going abroad, either going back home or finding new locations, what needs to be done is that you cannot sell your business. Once you get your studio up and running and very successful, you have your own IPs, please do not sell your businesses, do not sell your studios, because in the next year or a few years or even decade, we will be back in this situation again where it's the same people owning the same properties, the same 2-3 companies owning everything, and then them cutting down and downsizing and canceling projects and rejecting things. There are multiple avenues for people to go through for their projects. They can create their own platform, like what Rooster Teeth did in the past. They had their own website where they posted Red vs. Blue, Ruby, Camp, and all their other projects. You also have YouTube as a very viable platform for original animations and for original content. There are many different indie creators who post their projects to YouTube to make a name for themselves. You have independent filmmakers that post videos. You have different original projects like Murder Drones, like Has Been Hotel, like Hell of a Boss, like Pork Chop and Flat Screen. Amazing animators, amazing community of animators that have been able to garner and create followings for themselves. You can get into contact with different networks and get TV deals or streaming deals yourselves rather than working directly under those networks and under those companies. Make business trips a thing where you travel abroad and you go to different locations. We have email now. We have large file sharing where you can get into contact with other industries and other studios that may focus in editing video or may focus in creating audio, and you can send samples and work back and forth to them and collab abroad through the internet, through indirect means. There is a precedent and there is now a possibility for more abroad styles of media and entertainment creation, as well as people who are multi-skilled and multifaceted. Like me myself, I'm a 2D animator, but I do a bunch of different things. I've done storyboarding, I've done video editing, I've done audio editing, I've done in-betweening, coloring, compositing. I've done character art, character concepts, more splash arts type of things. When I do eventually go independent and open my own studio, a lot of the work will be put on myself and I will have to have multiple skills. And I'll definitely go for the people who are multi-skilled and who can do multiple things, because now that is what is needed. The industry can no longer afford to stay hunkered down in Los Angeles. Now is the time where we expand, where we evolve, where we go to lesser known cities and states like Ohio, Utah, Washington, D.C., North, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Georgia. All of these different areas, places, and locations provide services for people starting businesses. And then those of you also likely have savings on top of your connections and on top of your social support. On top of your social support and on top of your connections that you've made. But these are just some options that we have to choose from, and these are some ways that we can make the industry a better place to allow us to continue to do what we love. Anyway, this was just a short video, a bit of an inspirational video. I wanted to get this out there while it was still fresh in my mind. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. Definitely share this video and definitely share what I've said with other people in your network and in your connections and in your industry. Get the word out there. Expand media and entertainment. Make your own original projects. Anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I'll see you guys in my next video or stream. Bye.